Hello and welcome back to the linear series for episode 11. My name is Professor Adrivan, and in this episode we're going to talk about how to graph the slope-intercept form linear equations that we wrote in the last video. Alright, so we want to graph these linear functions. These are the three examples that we're going to be doing in the video. So if whatever you're currently working on look like these problems, then this is the correct video for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So we have our graph set up already. Hopefully you have some graph paper because that'll definitely make this a little bit easier. We have this equation of y equals negative 2x plus 3. Remember that this negative 2 is the m, it is the slope, and the positive 3 is the b, it is the y-intercept. So in order to graph a line, we need at least 2 points. So we're going to start with the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis being the vertical axis. So when we have this b of positive 3, our y-intercept is positive 3, that gives us our first point right here on the y-axis at positive 3. Now the slope is going to help us get our second point. So the slope in this situation is negative 2. That means I'm going to go over 1 unit to the right, and then my slope is going to dictate how many units I have to go up or down. Right, so I'm going to go over 1 unit to the right, and my slope is negative 2, so I have to go down 2 units. So just like that, I have 2 points. I can make a line. However, I think it's beneficial to get multiple points so we get a more accurate line. So if I go from this point, this red point that we've got, our second point, and again I go over 1 and then I go down 2 because my slope is negative 2, I'll get another point. And then I can do it again. I can go over 1, down 2, over 1, down 2, over 1, down 2. And you see I get this nice sequence of points that will help me make my line. Now what about to the left, right? So we've only done points to the right. So if I want to go to the left to help me get a better picture of my line, I'm now going backwards. So instead of going down 2 when I go left 1, I want to do the opposite. I want to go up 2. So I want to go left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2. And that's because we're going backwards, we're going to the left, and normally slope means the change in x in the positive direction. So it'd be how much we move up or down when we move 1 unit to the right. So when we move 1 unit to the left, we have to do the opposite of what the slope tells us. Alright, so we have this nice sequence of all these lines. So now we can do our best to connect them. Right? If you have a ruler, that's fantastic. If you don't have a ruler, but you have something like a calculator or a notebook or even a textbook, using the side of that is great in a pinch to draw a nice straight line. Alright, let's go to our second example so we can see what to do with a fraction as our slope. So again, the number in front of x, in this case 3 over 8, is our slope, and the 1 is our y-intercept. Okay, so we're going to start in the same way. We're going to start with the y-intercept being at positive 1. And then my slope, because it is a fraction this time, I'm not just going to go over 1. Right? That's only going to work when we have a slope that is a whole number. So when we have a slope that is a fraction, we need to recall what a slope actually means. Right? A slope is rise over run, meaning the change in y over the change in x. right? The vertical change over the horizontal change. So this being 3 over 8 means that I want to go up 3 units, that is my rise, my change in y, and then I want to go over 8 units, that is my run, my change in x. So I want to go up 3 and over 8. Now, if I go up 3 and over 8 again, I'm going to be off my graph. So to get another point so that we can make a nice straight line, I'm going to go the other way, right? I'm going to go left 3, and then instead of going up 8, we're doing the opposite. We're going to go down 8. Or excuse me, I flipped that. We're going to go down 3 to negative 2, and instead of going right 8, we're going to go left 8. Right, because our rise is 3, and my run is 8. So if I go from this red point to the green point, the y-intercept, I go up 3 over 8. And then if I go from the y-intercept, the green point, to the other red point, I'm going up 3 and over 8. All right, so I have 3 points, which is more than enough. We can do our best to sketch a line. And unless you have a ruler or another straight edge, teachers don't really expect you to get it perfect. All right, so just do your best. We have a third and final example. So in this case, we have a y-intercept that is a fraction as well as a slope that is a fraction. So we're still going to start with the y-intercept. The y-intercept is negative 1/2, so we're going to put that right there. And then we're going to follow our slope, remembering that slope is rise over run. So I'm going to go up 5 and over 2 to the right. Now we're going to be careful because when I go up 1, I'm between 0 and 1. When I go up 2, I'm between 1 and 2, up 3, up 4, and up 5. I'm between 4 and 5. And then I can go over 2, 1, 2, and I have my point. If I go over another point, I'm going to be off my graph, so let's get the point to the left of the y-axis. Right? Instead of going up 5, we're going to go down 5, right? We're doing the opposite. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then instead of going right 2, we're going to do the opposite and go left 2. 1, 1, 2. All right, so we have 3 points now, and 3 points is more than enough to make our sketch of this linear equation. And there we go. So to recap, you want to start with the y-intercept and plot that as your first point, and then use the slope as a rise over run to get at least one other point, and I really recommend getting a few points at least. But you need 2, but I recommend getting a few more so that you can make a more accurate sketch of the line. If you found this video helpful, consider giving it a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, good luck, and we'll see you in the next one.